Hello and welcome to episode 168 of Controller Club, the friendly face gaming space, a podcast where three friends from three continents share in one love, and that is video games. On today's show, Gamescom Opening Night Live 2025 has given us some exciting new games to talk about, and we're going to chat all about them, and we will be doing a deep dive into our New Game Plus Video Game Book Club Game of the Month for August 2025, the very first portal. But before all that, let's introduce ourselves. My name is Kleinfeld, and alongside me today, as always, are two of my best friends in the whole wide gaming world. First, coming to us from across the pond, wearing a dashing Carly Rae Jepsen t-shirt in the middle of the night in London, might I say, Tom Drew. Tom, how's it going? It is approximately 12:10 p.m. at the time we're recording London time. To post-date this, we got to be quiet tonight, I'm assuming. The roommates don't want things maybe getting too loud.
Yeah, a little bit quiet, but no, we can talk normally. I mean, it's not going to bother them too much. Yeah, it's pretty late here, but I'm powered by the fact that Carly Rae Jepsen is releasing new music in the year of our Lord 2025. It's a great time to be alive if you're a Carly Rae Jepsen fan. So I'm living in it. It's a lot of fun over here.
You are powered by Carly Rae Jepsen today, and I'm powered by news that Travel Tillman will be in Spider-Man 4. Amazing. Trammell Tillman. There we go. No V. What am I doing? Next up, it is journalist extraordinaire, Australian abroad, Canadian in training, the mother of some daughters, Lauren Rouse. Lauren, how are you? How are things? What's going on?
I'm doing good. I'm also powered by something, which is the fact that I see Tom in like 2-ish days, and then I see you, Klein, in like 5-ish days, and then we all see each other next week for PAX, which is super, super exciting. This is our last episode before we get to go.
Yes, we are recording a couple days early because Tom he's jet setting. He is hopping on a plane headed for Canada, and then we are all coming together and heading across the border to Seattle for PAX West. We'll be at PAX West all next weekend long, playing games, hanging out, talking to people, and then we will reconvene afterwards with all sorts of content. I'm sure we'll be doing stuff there as well. Gonna bring a microphone. Things will get recorded. I am sure of it. But that's not why we're here today. Today, we're here to talk about a bit of a different gaming convention happening over in Cologne, Germany. Gamescom 2025 kicked off. We're going to do the news we choose. Tom Drew, give us that news jingle.
It's the news Gamescom chooses. Yeah.
Yes, it is the news we choose, a very special Gamescom edition. The biggest gaming convention in the world is happening as we are recording right now. Over 300,000 attendees have all descended upon Cologne to play the latest and greatest in gaming. We did a live reaction of the opening night live opening ceremonies that Jeff Keighley puts together with various game announcements and all sorts of different news headlines and things like that. You can head over to our YouTube channel and watch that live reaction right now if you missed it. But we thought this week, because the news we choose, this is the news right now, other than Hollow Knight Silk Song is happening. Okay, we could get that out of there. That is Hollow Knight Silk Song. We will get more news on that in the next couple of days. But we watched it. We've each kind of picked a headline from the Gamescom opening night live ceremony. We'll talk about it here very quickly. Tom, I want to go to you first because I think this was the highlight of the night. What are you going to be bringing here today with our News We Choose special Gamescom edition?
Yeah, so surprisingly, in case you didn't watch the showcase opening live, we're basically getting a new Arkham game in 2026. Apparently, so for those disappointed by a lack of Arkham games after Suicide Squad killed Justice League, fear not. A new Lego game titled Batman: Legacy of the Dark Knight seems to be filling the void, which will focus on the Caped Crusader fighting crime in an open-world Gotham City. The trailer teased that it would depict iconic moments from Batman movies, but it's also been confirmed that these will all be woven together into an original story that will also draw from other TV shows, comics, and games. Legacy of the Dark Knight also seems to be teasing a lot of similarities to the Batman Arkham franchise, featuring gameplay that looks eerily similar to those games' free-flow combat and gadgets like the explosive gel. Two-player co-op is confirmed to return, with players getting the opportunity to suit up as not only Batman, but Jim Gordon, Robin, Nightwing, Batgirl, Catwoman, and Talia al Ghul as well when the game launches in 2026. So yeah, kind of an out-of-nowhere announcement. We knew TT Games was working on something after the Skywalker saga, but we didn't know it would be this. And in such a weird form, kind of completely different than a lot of Lego games we've got in the past. But what did you guys think about this? Does this fill the Arkham holes in our hearts at all? Lauren, as the resident Batman Arkham fan, we'll go right to you.
Yeah, I was definitely gripped by this, to be honest. I think it was my announcement of the show. Because I have dipped my toe into Lego games in the past, mainly when I was like a bit younger, but I haven't really given them much of a shot since. But this one was like, okay, like they're doing something really cool with this one. It's not just the kind of like typical puzzle game that like recreates movie moments and you kind of like box tick with the different story elements in that. And there's a few like funny twists on classic scenes. It's kind of all of that, but also all these new things. So like they talked about there being a bit of an open world element. They've got a lot of the, like you said, gameplay mechanics from Batman Arkham in this game, the swinging between grapple points, the detective vision mode, and there was even like the thing that really got me was seeing Batman like glide through the city. So I was like, oh, this is so cool. If we could get some of that Arkham style gameplay into a Lego game, like it's the best of both worlds. It really is, from what we can tell, the Arkham successor that we've been waiting for, just in a unexpected format.
Yeah, and like it feels like they are really taking this seriously. Even the fact that like there's a difficulty like option, they don't really do that in Lego games. They're typically pretty easily. So the fact they are kind of, I guess, appealing to like those more hardcore fans and bringing that Arkham audience in, I think is like a really smart move. And I'm actually a lot more excited than this than I thought I ever would be for like a new Lego game at this point. The thing that really excites me is that like we saw a lot of the movie moments from the trailer, like Batman smashing Penguin's car from the Batman. The thing that really excites me is that they're drawing from other media too. Like they mentioned TV shows. Like if they have some Batman the Animated Series stuff in this game, like what if the Phantasm shows up? I know Phantasm's technically a movie character, but like things like that, I think is like really gets me out for this being a complete like love letter to Batman as a franchise. But Klein, similar to what I asked with Lauren, is this filling that kind of spot for you with the lack of Arkham in our lives at the moment?
It totally is. I mean, you look at the gameplay we saw, and he's throwing out the detective vision radar out there, perching up on these gargoyles, jumping down and beating people up with free flowing combat. I think that if we aren't going to get Arkham for a while, it seems there's been rumors of a Batman game being worked on at Arkham, or not Arkham, at Rocksteady at this point, after the Suicide Squad debacle. I'll take this because it is going to be a long time before we're going to get the next Arkham game. And it is so nice, as somebody who has played a lot of the Lego games and really enjoys the Lego games. It's nice to see them evolve what this franchise can be and take that next step. I think Skywalker Saga was a big move for them in implementing these like much larger open world areas, changing just the way the game worked from like a camera point of view, where it is no longer this like stilted kind of camera up above looking down on everyone fixed camera angle thing. It was this over the shoulder. They put in shooting and cover and all sorts of different things that had never been in a Lego game before. Now this to me feels much more like, oh, this is what the Lego franchise can be moving forward. It isn't necessarily recounting these stories that we know and love from these beloved franchises. It's telling an original Batman story, as they said, from the beginnings to legend, like all the way to the very end, that just happens to hop and bop between iconic moments of the Dark Knight. And that sounds great, whether those iconic moments take place in movies like we talked about with the Batman, or like you teased, Tom, with TV shows. There's the Brave and the Bold TV show costume is in the game. So I think that this, to me, it feels like the Arkham of Lego games, like a true love letter to the franchise, recounting not just the movie stuff, but like everything Batman has ever done. I'm excited for it. 2026 GTA 6, watch out, because we got a new Game of the Year contender on the board.
And I like that it's not just like a basically a redo of the Skywalker saga, like that, where it's just retelling, Batman, Batman Returns, Batman Begins, Dark Knight. It's like, let's just pick our favorite moments from each of those and put them into a new story where like completely new things can happen. So it's going to feel really fresh in that way, I expect. Whereas like, yeah, it's kind of just like a rehashing of old stories when you play these other Lego games. So I'm excited that it's like they could do something really unexpected. Like maybe like if I could have one dream, we could see that Batman Beyond world explored somehow here.
Yeah, that was going to be my question. Like, if there's any concepts or storylines you'd like to see from different like Batman media, I think Batman Beyond is definitely the one that I'd love to see somehow incorporated in this. They mentioned some of the playable characters. I don't know if that's all of them. It kind of seems like it is, but like if we do get like a Terry McGinnis like playable character, I think that would just be amazing. Klein, is there anything that you'd love to see from the Batman mythos get adapted into this game?
Let's get fun and let's do like Death of the Family. Let's do one of the really, really morose, awful, terrible, like
God.
brutal Batman stories. And I just
Oh my God.
I want to see what a Lego franchise would do to it.
You know,
I want to see like
maybe.
Hush, where they do Hush and they just like take small pieces out of his Lego brick face.
Oh my God.
I'm
Yeah, I
reading
think
Hush for the first time right now. I just
Oh,
bought
so
it a
good.
couple days ago.
it's a good story. Yeah, I think honestly, I think they could find ways to adapt some of this more mature content in like this game. They did it
You
with
think
that
so?
Pharrell movie. Yeah, they did it with that Pharrell movie where they're like smoking weed, but they're actually like spraying smoke around.
They're not
They
going
could
to
get
murder
pretty good.
Jason Todd in this game, though.
No, maybe not. But like he might explode into little bricks. So anything's possible.
Yeah, we've seen some fun moments. I think it's playable at games, or no, I know it's playable at Gamescom, but there's been some footage coming out from that, where there's people have gotten glimpses at like the origin of the Joker in this Batman world with like a battle at Ace Chemicals with Red Hood, and I think that is going to be really fun to tell this expansive Batman story as opposed to focusing on kind of smaller adventures like we've done with the movies. It's going to be this big, long, from training with the League of Shadows all the way to, I guess, like Dark Knight Returns at the very end. I don't know what does the end of Batman look like, and so I think that is just such a cool, unique idea and something I'd love to see with like a Spider-Man or like some other comic book character that has this almost 100-year mythos to explore.
Yeah, I think Spider-Man would be a great choice for this kind of treatment, particularly like if they can do what they got right with the Arkham games with the stealth and the flying and the boosting and things. They could totally do that in Lego with Spider-Man next and get the swinging right through like Lego New York would be really, really cool.
Yeah, or even Superman. Like everyone wants a Superman game. I feel like they could do that.
True.
Like in kind of make that the flying would just make sense. I think in this kind of format for sure.
Great. Well, thank you so much for bringing that one, Tom. Lauren, we'll jump from Gotham City to the post-apocalypse. What do you want to talk about today?
Yeah, I want to talk about Fallout Season 2 because we got to look at the first teaser trailer for, the next season at Gamescom. The cast came out and the producers were there to introduce the trailer. But I've got this little rundown from Jordan Moreau at Variety. The first trailer for Fallout Season 2 has been released and it's showing a first look at new cast member Justin Theroux playing the video game character Robert House in the fan favorite location of New Vegas. Plus, there's a deadly Deathclaw stalking the irradiated city that comes face to face with Walton Goggins' Ghoul and Ella Pennell's Lucy. After briefly appearing in a flashback in Season 1, Robert House returns in a much larger way in Season 2, but this time he's played by Theroux. In the popular video game Fallout New Vegas, House is the ruler of the city, which was nearly destroyed by the nuclear war. In Season 1, it's revealed that House met with other corporate leaders to intentionally drop a nuclear bomb on themselves to ensure that Vault-Tech's profits would thrive and endure. And in the game, House uses this insider information to fortify New Vegas and preserve his body in a coma to rule once he awakens more than 100 years later. Season 2 of Fallout will premiere on Prime Video on December 17 and release a new episode weekly until the finale on Feb 4. So we got a lot of new Fallout information at once in this. We have the release date, which is December 17. We have Mr. House casting. We have like the blurriest, darkest look ever at a Deathclaw. And we have a bunch of like exciting locations from the games with New Vegas finally seeing what that's going to be at, seeing that there's going to be flashbacks that will continue in the show. But I want to know from you guys, out of all of that or something different, was there something that stood out from this trailer? Klein, I think you're the only one of us who played New Vegas. So
I've played a little bit of New Vegas, like the first 3 hours. It was never a game that I had. It was a game that friends of mine had, and I dipped in and out of when I was over there or whatever. I know like the iconography of New Vegas, and so that's kind of cool to see the dinosaur there and the way that the way that Fallout does really everything in its world I enjoy is that just that seeing places and buildings and landmarks that we know, and then like putting the Fallout twist on it. And so just like seeing that strip kind of for the first time, and the hotels and the clubs and the casinos, very exciting. There isn't really a particular standout moment. I do think it was a very good trailer though. Just overall, the way they've built this world, games and otherwise, it just works so well with hooking me in. You throw in that old-timey music and the great like post-apocalyptic iconography. You start with the, I don't even know what they're called, but the radiation scale noises. Just it
Geiger-mometer, I think it is.
got, yeah, Geiger counter, I think
Geiger
is,
counter, yeah.
yeah. And so I think also it's great. The biggest thing coming out of it for me is the weekly releases. I said it on the live stream before we got to it. The biggest thing for me from season 1 that was holding it back was the fact that we only got to talk about it for a week, and now it's doing weekly releases. I think a lot of people didn't watch season 1 because it all came out at once, or they have come to season 1 since then because it all kind of came out at once and they didn't want to binge right then and there. Weekly releases for this show is going to be the best thing that they ever did for it.
I kind of agree but disagree. It's like I think the weekly releases are the right move to like build hype around this show, which it will now for like 2 months versus one week perhaps. But selfishly, I just want to watch it all at once. I don't want to wait. So I'm kind of a little frustrated at that, because that's what I did like about season 1, was being able to watch them all in a block or over a couple of days and be like, cool, this was great. I just get to hit next play, which I don't usually do for a whole lot of TV shows, but this one was like the binge model worked for me. But I think it was like inevitable, like given its success, that it would become a weekly release for Prime. But Tom, are you in agreement? And what were your standout moments?
Yeah, I think for me, I think the weekly release I definitely prefer, just because like, I mean, honestly, like I just find it hard to keep up with so many shows releasing like everything at once, and then I'm like, oh my god, I've like 8 hours of content to catch up on. But it's also nice because there are so many massive moments throughout season 1 that's like it would have been nicer to digest that a little bit more without having to try to rush through these. So like I personally, I'm in favor of the weekly. I think it's, yeah, gonna build up hype. You're gonna appreciate a lot of the moments in the season a little bit more, I think. But yeah, I think this trailer looks awesome. I think that the big standout thing for me is mostly just like all the Walton Goggins stuff, the flashback stuff we got. Obviously we got a lot of stuff in season 1. We're getting more of that in season 2, where he's in Vegas. Specifically like this shot of him on like the bucking Bronco, but it's like replaced with a missile. I just love
Yeah.
that zany energy that they are clearly like carrying over into this season. So yeah, I can't wait to see more of like his character's backstory, and then how that informs the rest of the show. Because like I think it's sometimes a risk when you structure your television show around flashbacks. Sometimes it can get a bit old, and like the storylines aren't as interesting. But I've always found the Ghoul's backstory pretty rock solid, and I hope that continues with season 2. So yeah, that's the thing I'm really hyped about, and just itching to see more of what his whole deal is, really.
Yeah, I love that they built the ghoul up to be that person who can connect the past with the present. Like, it's such a great task for Walton Goggins to be able to do as an actor, but also like such a great way to tell the story, because so many, I don't think really in the Fallout games it's ever really explained all of this backstory. So like getting it to unfold this way on the TV show is really, really cool. And love that we're going to see House, played by Justin Theroux, who's a great choice, like before and I guess after. We'll see what he looks like. And I think for a lot of people, like New Vegas obviously is a huge location, but just like being able to enter that world and like see how it's kind of changed and like introduces all these new factions and dynamics and power plays is like a really exciting way to start the new season. So we have a lot to look forward to in December.
Yeah, coming up soon enough, it'll be here. I'm interested to see if we go to the Hoover Dam. I know that is like one of the iconic places from the New Vegas game. And do we venture, how far off the strip do we venture in this new season? I hope we get to see more of that kind of Nevada desert vibe, and I'm excited for Deathclaws.
Yeah, it looks creepy. It looks like a creepy little guy. So
I don't know what you're looking at because there's no defining features in that shot.
he's got like a
It's a
beady eye
Deathclaw.
sort of thing,
The only
It's like black pit with
T-Rex looking
eyes.
thing in the Fallout universe is a Deathclaw.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is kind of a black, awful, grainy shot. Okay, we'll go to my story. The last announcement from the opening night live ceremony, we have the next project from the makers of Black Myth Wukong. They announced, I guess, a sequel. This is from IGN. I'm pulling here. The big finish for Gamescom opening night live was a sequel from Game Science, Black Myth Zhang Kui. Black Myth Zhang Kui is a figure from Chinese mythology who fights evil beings and can command 80,000 demons. It looks like Black Myth Zhang Kui. In Black Myth Zhang Kui, he also has a massive tiger, which we're obviously an immediate fan of. It sounds like this is very early in development and there's no release date yet. Very quick little blurb. We didn't really get much. It was a very quick trailer of two men talking and a giant tiger stalking behind them with this Zhang Kui guy sitting on top of it. I did not play Black Myth Wukong. It was one of the biggest games of last year, won a bunch of game awards, not game of the year, but it did win a bunch of awards. And so to have a full-on sequel here, I think is very exciting. But I want to ask the two of you, what do you think about Game Science here now, kind of defining what the Black Myth franchise is going to be going forward? They tackled the Journey to the West with the first one. They're doing this kind of other mythological figure, that's the word I'm looking for, with the sequel. And it seems like that's what we're going to do as we bounce from Black Myth title to Black Myth title. I want to know, what do you guys think about this trailer, and what do you think about the direction of the franchise as a whole? Tom?
yeah, I feel like this is super interesting because like I feel like Game Science has been working on like DLC for Wukong for a while, so I'm surprised that announcement hasn't come
They
sooner.
did
And
say
like,
that when they announced this game. They said something about that the Black Myth Wukong journey is not done yet.
Mm.
yeah, so like the DLC is definitely coming. I'm just surprised that they're like, okay, we're already working on a new game, which is really cool. Like, I think it's cool that they're kind of taking like a similar approach to like an Assassin's Creed or like a Ghost game, where it's like it's kind of the same idea but like a different story, a different like central character. So I think it's really cool that they're like tackling a different like mythological story. I admittedly don't know too much about Chinese mythology. Like that's probably one of like the gray areas I have in terms of like mythology, as far as mythology goes. But I think it's cool. Like I love tigers, so seeing a massive tiger in this it's really fun, and seeing these weird guys with like British accents was sort of interesting too. I
The
was like,
British
okay,
accents threw me off a little bit.
yeah, I was kind of confused by that, but sure, that's fun, I guess. But yeah, I didn't play the first game. I'm kind of interested in it just because of how much kind of fervor was around it. Maybe I'll try it at some point. But yeah, this game was cool. 80,000 demons, sure.
Lauren, did this do anything for you at being the big grand finale? The kind of fake out big grand finale, by the way. Jeff Keighley kind of made it seem like the whole thing was over, and then all of a sudden we had a trailer running.
Yeah.
But I want to know, what do you think about this trailer here?
Yeah, well, classic Jeff. Yeah, I think that them switching between like myths instead of doing a direct sequel is smart, considering especially like I didn't play Black Myth Wukong, but I wrote a lot about it for the site, and so I like read about a whole lot about the ending and the enemies and all this and that, and like the way it ends, it is kind of like a choose your own adventure style. So I think it would be difficult to do a direct sequel to that, given what kind of ending you get. So I think changing it to be just like a different myth each time is really clever. It's kind of like what Ghost of Tsushima is doing with Ghost of Yote. Like you get to introduce new characters, new mechanics, but in the same kind of world and style. So makes sense to me. I suspect, and I have like no like factual grounding for this, but I suspect this is going to come out quite quickly. Just because like this is commonly referred to as like the first big AAA game out of China. And I think seeing as it's been such a success in the like Western world, as well as I assume in China, I'm not sure. I think that they probably have put all resources towards this, and that they might have a team now that's working on the Wukong DLC, and they might have a team working on this. But I think it's going to be them announcing it so early hints to me that it's going to be like quicker than expected.
What does that mean? What is quick to you?
Probably like the next 2 years.
Wow. Okay. So a
Maybe.
3-year dev time?
Yeah.
It's possible, I guess. It's possible.
It is possible. I mean, the first Black Myth, one of the defining features of it is that one of the best looking video games I've ever seen. So graphically, just if they can do that, I think that, as you said, Lauren, they have the financial backing of just, I think, like just about anything in there. Like they are the what am I trying to say? The Chinese government is so adamant on trying to make the game industry very, very profitable for them and a thriving industry, not just at home, but internationally as well. And so I think there is a lot of funding happening studio to studio. I don't know that for sure, but I think that game science is definitely the tip of the iceberg right now for that industry. And so to get a second game from them out as quickly as they can makes a lot of sense. Okay, that's the news we choose. Tom, Drew, give us that outro.
It's the news Gamescom chooses. Yeah.
And we jump over to our New Game Plus Video Game Book Club Game of the Month discussion for August 2025. Today, we will be talking about Portal. We have played Portal over some of July and all of August. We've all beaten it, right? Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do a quick intro and then we'll get into our thoughts here. If you don't know, Portal is a 2007 puzzle platformer game developed by and published by Valve. It was originally released in a bundle known as the Orange Box for Windows, Xbox 360, and PlayStation 3, and has since been ported to other systems, including Mac OS X, Linux, Android, and Nintendo Switch. Gameplay consists primarily of a series of puzzles that must be solved by teleporting the player's character and simple objects using something known as the Aperture Science handheld portal device, also known as the portal gun, a device that can create intra-dimensional portals between two flat planes. The game has been heralded as one of the greatest puzzle games of all time, and so we decided we'd give it a try, some for the first time, and others for a bit of a revisit. Now, before we get into our general thoughts, you guys can say what you think about the game, but also let the listeners know this is both of your first time playing Portal, correct?
Indeed.
Cool.
Indeed.
This is my second time playing Portal. It is a breeze to play through. I think it is max 3 hours, maybe. A little more if you get stuck with the puzzles. But what'd you guys think your first time jumping into Portal for and enjoying this, I guess, iconic series for the first time? Lauren?
I had a really good time with this. I think the runtime really helped with that. It was nice that it was just a short and contained game, particularly when you see like once the mechanics are established and you kind of get going with it, you're kind of like, there's not many more times that I can do this. So I think they ended it at the right time, didn't do more than they needed to, and it was amazing what they were able to get done with so little. So I really appreciated it for that. It was like quite it was just felt like excellence in kind of game design and character building. And I remember the first few times that I was playing it, I think I'd seen weapons, so I was already in like a skittish mood. And then I put on Portal, and it's kind of a little creepy sometimes. So I was like, I'm gonna put it down. But I think that was like a testament to it, which is that it just has a great mood and aura, and it's quite accessible. But there are some challenges which we'll get into. But overall, I'm glad that I've like been able to experience this game, which is classified as such a hallmark in the industry for the first time.
Yeah, I think that this game's conciseness is like one of the best things about it. It doesn't overstay its welcome. It is, I think, 19 challenge rooms total and a boss fight at the end, and that's kind of it. And I playing it for the second time absolutely adored it. I think that the first time going through it, I could see the genius. The second time, I saw it even more, where I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't even think. I think I'd even done some of the puzzles completely wrong last time, where this time I got into a room, there's turrets in front of me, I'm messing around with them, and oh, this is what you actually want me to do, instead of me like kind of hitting my head against a wall and bashing my way through. I think that Portal Gun as a whole is probably my favorite video game weapon. It just feels so fun to run around with and create these little wormholes across levels, and just it is truly a hallmark, I think, of the industry, and really does feel like somebody just had this really great idea and then tried to explore every single way, every permutation that they could play around with that idea. And then they made a second one. So I haven't played all the way through Portal 2, but I am itching to like see what they could do with this portal gun, because the first time around they did so many different things. But Tom, what did you think about Portal?
Yeah, so like you mentioned, this is the first time I played it, and I kind of like put it off for like ages. I've always wanted to play it, but like I don't know why, but I was just always under the impression of like, oh, what if I like get stuck and I can't like do the challenges? I mean, you can look up a guide or whatever, but like I was just kind of intimidated because like the prospect of the concept of Portal seems kind of intimidating, at least to me. But I'm really glad that we decided to play this game because I loved it. I thought it was incredible. I've always wanted to play like a Valve game because I've seen like footage of like Half-Life online, but never like actually played it. And obviously, like, same with Portal. But actually getting to see what this like developer is capable of, it's a shame Valve doesn't make like more games because this like you said it, Klein. Like this game is genius. Like from a storytelling perspective, from a gameplay perspective, and like what Lauren was saying, like a vibe perspective, just the feeling you get as you're going through Aperture, it really just blew me away. I loved pretty much every aspect of this game. I don't have a lot of complaints, honestly. Um, yeah, it was just a joy front to back, and I really loved it.
Great. Well, let's break down the spoiler wall. Let's jump in. I guess there aren't really a ton of spoilers here. There's a big angry robot. The cake is a lie. Is it a lie, though? We don't know. Let's get into it. What we liked, what we didn't like about the game. I want to ask, you kind of brought it up, Lauren, about the challenge here. I found, and something I didn't appreciate the first time I played this game, but playing through the second time, it had been long enough that I'd kind of forgotten the solutions to almost every room. But I found that everything was just hard enough where I would start to wonder how to do it and then figure it out pretty quickly. But did you was it a little more challenging than that for you, Lauren? Were you finding that you were actually getting frustrated in some points? But did you have to look at a guide at all? Like, was it not as intuitive as maybe I'm leading on?
It's pretty intuitive. I was actually really fine until I think the last two rooms. I was like, I'm just not getting this right. And I think, yeah, it could, I think that's just where like game designers just give us hints. Like, not to the extent that Atreus is telling you what to do every 5 seconds in God of War, but a couple of hints if you're really struggling would be nice. So I did have to go and look at some YouTube walkthroughs just for those last two rooms. And there was one sequence, I think, with the boss fight where I was like, literally, how do I get up there? So yeah, it was a lot of the times when it's like you have to do these insane jump moves by bouncing out of one portal, creating a new one, falling directly into it, and then another one. And sometimes I would just hit buttons and pray that it worked out, and sometimes it did. So those were the areas that kind of really challenged me, and I did have to go to guides for that, but it was really only right in the last couple. So apart from that, I found it pretty easy to get a handle on.
The only thing, and it happened to me the first time I played it, and it happened to me again playing it the second time, I think it's the second phase of the GLaDOS fight where she is shooting missiles and you have to like redirect the missile with portals. Both times I'm like, I have no idea what you want me to do. What do you want me to do? And then I figured, oh, you're shooting the missile. That makes sense. I need to do that. But both times, like, this isn't immediately intuitive to me. But everything else, it does such a great job going from room to room of like slowly like unfolding the map just a little bit more. It's like, hey, we did this last time. Now let's just add this little twist. And now we're going to combine the things from the last two rooms. And now we're going to do that. And you're going to have to be launching yourself up in the air. I think it does a great job of almost very Nintendo like, of like, here's an idea. Here's the second layer to that idea. Here's the third layer to that idea. And that kind of feels like what this just whole game is it's just, here's the idea of the portal gun. And then let's just like boom, 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 get more and more complex as we go, slowly building on, and everything feels like such a natural progression from room to room that I never felt like, whoa, difficulty spike here, right up until that very end. But Tom, how did you find, I guess, the difficulty of the puzzles? The whole game is puzzles.
Yeah, it is all puzzles. Yeah, I think for the most part, like, yeah, starting off it like is pretty easy. Like I think the uh the thing that got me is like when you get to a new room, at first you're like you're presented with a lot of these things, and you're like, what am I supposed to do with these things? One of them that sticks out to me distinctly is one where like you have these like orbs that you have to uh redirect into like catches, I guess. And there's one challenge where you have to do that 3 times with 3 different orbs. And the like first going in there, I was like, what the hell do we have to do? Like, there's one thing at an angle, so you have to try to get it in like a 45-degree angle, and then like as you experiment, you slowly realize like, oh, like the orbs can like bounce off walls, so you can like redirect it that way, and it'll like change angle and that sort of thing. So I definitely found the challenge as it went on, especially like you guys have said, those last couple rooms where you're having to like shift your momentum, like pairing that with also like the motion sickness, which we'll get to, and then also having to aim your portal and making sure you're doing everything correctly can get a bit challenging at certain times. But I also felt that the difficulty was to a point where it's like it was difficult enough for me to be like, okay, I really need to think about what I need to do. But once I've figured it out, I'm like, I feel so good that I like I've worked out what it's wanting me to do. And even sometimes when it's like you kind of fudge certain solutions. Like sometimes I would honestly put portals down and the like a door would open and I'd be like, I don't know if I did that correctly, but I guess I did. I guess the all point of the thing is all fine. So but no, I found the yeah, like you guys have said, the puzzles super like clever and just how they build up on one another, and like how all these challenges and rooms like prepare you for your escape at the end. I thought was really clever, and it's like, okay, you've learned how to do all these things, now apply it to actually getting out of Aperture. I thought that was like a really fun way of like framing the game.
What was everyone's favorite like kind of puzzle here? Were you a fan of the like you said with the orbs and trying to direct them into the right place? Were you a fan of the companion cube stuff where you're dropping companion cubes? I personally like the what Lauren said she had difficulty with, the like using your momentum, and you learn how to, okay, if I put a portal up there and put one on the ground and fall through it, okay, I can get up there. And then you start doing it a couple times in a row, and you really like maintaining that momentum. While it does make me incredibly motion sick, like this game is the worst. Every, I'd say half an hour, I could play this game in half an hour chunks, and then I have to stop. But it does feel so cool when you are getting that like almost that front flip sensation from doing these giant jumps. But those are my favorite. I don't know about you guys.
I think I liked something different. It took me a minute to figure it out, but I quite liked it when they had the little artillery guns come in, the little remote little guys, and
Yeah, turret.
you could like figure out how you could like portal behind them and then pick them up and throw them, tip them over, and they were just like, "Oh no!" I thought
I
they
like
were
when they freak out when you tip them over and they just start
yeah,
shooting and then stop.
and they have cute little voices like, "Are you still there? Hello?" And I'm like, "You're so creepy. I have such satisfaction in sneaking up on you."
Yeah, those were hilarious. Those are some of my favorites because yeah, they're just like they're so cute, and when you knock them over, you almost feel like kind of bad that you're like ruining their day a little bit. But yeah, I think the I definitely agree with the like momentum thing. It was really cool, but again, made me very motion sick. But like, I love that you can just like shoot a portal down and like continuously like fall essentially, and you're just continuously getting momentum. I thought that was really cool. But I think the companion cube level was definitely my favorite. Like they do such a good job of like making you attached to that thing. Like I didn't think I would fall for it, but like by the time you get through that companion cube level and then you're like, okay, it's time to incinerate it now. I genuinely was like, there has to be a way to like keep this thing alive. I was trying to figure out like, can I take it through the elevator? Is there any way? But unfortunately you have to incinerate the companion cube. And I was like, man, I've been through so much with this guy. I can't do that. So I thought it was just a clever like way of framing the puzzle, informing storytelling where there really like isn't anything. All they had to do was put hearts on a cube, and it just won me over. So I thought that was super clever.
I do think that the story overall in this game is something that goes underappreciated. It isn't a sweeping narrative. It isn't Uncharted. It's not The Last of Us. I just named 2 Naughty Dog games. I don't know why. But they do such a great job of kind of informing you what you need to know about this world, and then giving you sprinkles of what Aperture is, and who GLaDOS is, and who you are, and why you're there. And I just think that, yes, the gameplay of this game could be there and nothing else, and it would still be a masterpiece. But the fact that you also have this like incredible sense of humor, I think this is one of the cleverest games, most clever games, I guess, that I've ever played. I think GLaDOS as a villain is so much fun. The things that she says to you, the informing you of going through the test chambers, and I think there's a moment early on where she's like, "For this chamber, we won't be surveilling you," and then at the end, she's like, "Haha, good job. Oh yes,
Yeah.
we were watching you the whole time." Even in the final battle, when she like launches the gas sequence, and she's like, "You like opened the gas chamber full of gas, and now it's gonna fill our chamber." It's just, I think that the writing in this game, the storytelling in this game, on top of the gameplay, is it's almost like, it almost feels like too much. Like, I mean, too much of a good thing. It's just, it's this amazing sundae that they've kind of created here, and the cherry on top, it just happens to be a fun story with a great sense of humor.
Yeah, absolutely. I like GLaDOS. I think I don't know if you guys remember, but we did like a I think it was a bracket of like the best villains, best video game villains, and I'm pretty sure GLaDOS won. And I'm so
Yeah.
glad that GLaDOS did win, because I think I agree. GLaDOS is so much fun. I love her dialogue in this. Yeah, like the little fun ways, like when you're escaping, and she's like really trying to be like, no, we were pretending we were going to murder you. And then she like flips and it's like, you're not even going the right way. Like, why are you even trying? Why are you even trying to escape, and that sort of thing? The way she like switches her tone, and is so like sassy. Even like when you first get introduced to the momentum stuff, and you're like go flying out of a portal, and she just goes, wee. Like, it's just little quirky things like that that I just, it's so endearing with GLaDOS's character. And I think they do so much with just that one character, because you're not talking, Chell isn't talking back to GLaDOS at all. And I just, it's genius how well GLaDOS comes across, that it informs so much of that story, and what you're doing in Aperture. It's amazing.
Yeah, I think it's that whole thing of like the pairing of story and character with this game. It is that kind of thing. They've just done a lot with a little, and it kind of proves that you don't need to do too much, because it can be so effective when you pare it back. But um, it was just like this twist of like, you have this companion who's kind of creepy but kind of, yeah, funny. So you kind of like her, or it's a robot. Um, and then like, but we all know that she's going to turn on you eventually. In some ways, it kind of weirdly reminded me, this whole game, of Severance, where it's kind of like this corporate office culture, but twisted slightly to be funny and like to be satirical. And I was like, this is cool. I like that. But yeah, I think I had the same favorite line of GLaDOS's. I wrote it down. It was like, remember when the platform was sliding into the fire pit and I said goodbye, and you were like, no way. And then I was like, oh, we were pretending we were going to murder you. That was great.
that's, so,
Like,
that's so funny.
so good.
Yeah, and the world design paired on top of that is just, it is very Severance. This kind of, it's so clean, it's terrifying. This like really sanitized scientific corporate environment is just so freaky to explore, but also like the look of GLaDOS herself, the turrets, the portal gun, the companion cubes, like it is all so unique and like instantly iconic almost. Just the, like when you think of Portal, you have this like aesthetic in your head based on just these few short levels.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
then you get like that occasional peek behind the curtain, which is when you
Yeah.
find the remnants of other people who have done this, and they're like, the cake is a lie, and it's just scribbles and like maniacal serial killer drawings, and like scraps of food and stuff behind the walls. I thought that was really cool. I thought that was a little bit underutilized, because there was like kind of two sequences that showed you the same thing, where you could go behind the walls. So I liked that, but I would have been like, let's have just something more. I would have liked to maybe like see the remains of someone else, or just have a new piece of information from someone, because I knew pretty quickly the cake was a lie.
yeah. And like, I do find it fun, like you mentioned Severance, Klein, like the cake being this kind of like thing that gets dangled over you. It does remind me of Severance, where it's like they'll offer
Melon
like
party.
employees like, Like
Yeah.
melon party or like a dance party. It's like, why would you think we want this as a reward? Like, it doesn't make any sense. But yeah, like I found, even though like the cake is a lie has been a meme on the internet for like eons. It's been like since the inception of like the modern kind of internet. I feel like it's been around. And even like seeing it in the game, I was like, it still kind of like got me in terms of like just like informing of like, yeah, there's been other test subjects, and it did feel kind of creepy in a way, even though that line has been like reinterpreted so much since then. Yeah, I kind of agree, Lauren. I kind of wish we got a little bit more of that dark underside and seeing what other shady stuff has happened in the past. But the stuff we do get, like, I think is super effective in like um telling you like again like telling a lot with little.
Shout out to this credit song as well. Just
Oh my
still
god, yeah.
alive. It hits almost 20 years later.
So
It is
good.
so good.
I didn't know that was a thing, and like when it started playing, I was like, "This is." They like just when I thought like they'd basically like surpass all my expectations, they add that, and I'm like, "This is just, it's just amazing." Like it's
Valve needs to
so
make more
clever.
games. Like it
That's what
really, it
I'm saying.
truly is
Yeah,
amazing that this was just an experimental little thing that was thrown in on a like compilation disc, and
yeah,
it just is. I guess they have Steam money. They don't have to really worry about making games. They can make a game every once in a while. But man, I mean, we got a Portal 2, so I want to play through that. I would love. I'm sure a lot of people would love a Portal 3. I'm sure a lot of people would love a lot of other Valve games. It's just like, man, it's like if Disney was like, yeah, Disney Plus is too, like, we're making too much money. We don't need to make things anymore.
yeah, exactly.
Well, it's like,
And
why
like,
try top perfection? You'll only set up for
I
disappointment, right?
guess.
I guess so. But then they make like Half-Life Alex on VR, and that's like one of the
Yeah.
best VR games ever. Like, so
Or
they're
that, like,
clearly
there's that
capable
game that's in
still.
development that they haven't announced, but people are playing it that they aren't allowed to talk about. That's like a first person shooter, but it's a MOBA, like League of Legends, and people are like, this is
Mm,
the best MOBA ever made, and it's in alpha.
yeah.
Mm.
So like they could do it. Like, come on, Valve. Like, please. We love these games. They're so good.
Was there anything else we wanted to touch on? Tom, you had a couple negatives here. Loading times.
Yeah.
Did they bug you really bad? What did everybody play these on or play this on for starters?
So yeah, I play on Switch. It's not that it's like it's not even like that bad, honestly. But like, if you haven't played this game, like sometimes when you're going through different like areas of the of Aperture, like if you go down the elevator, sometimes you'll come out and then like there'll be like the game will freeze and it'll just say loading, and like it'll take a couple of like seconds to buffer, and then it'll continue again. I just feel like, I know this also happens in like all the Half-Life games too, and that's just how like those games are like basically coded, I guess. But it's kind of I wish those things were kind of like patched out, because we have, it's like this game came out in 2007. It's been a long time since these games have come out. I feel like those small things, just to enhance the performance of the game as a whole, could be. I think it could be like patched out, but it didn't like hamper my enjoyment of it by any means. It was just kind of like a bit jarring, of like, oh, the game is completely frozen. I can't do anything until it's finished loading, which is a bit weird.
I also played on Switch and experienced the same thing. I think also I found it with the death loading screen, like you had to prompt it to actually load. So
Yeah,
you couldn't just like sit there and wait for it to reload. You have to like actively press a button and then it's like, oh, you're ready? Okay, let's go back, which can be a blessing and a curse. So yeah, I did find them a little bit stilted, particularly for like it being it's not like I didn't play it on the Switch too, so I don't it's not like an enhanced console, but it is a game from nearly 20 years ago, so it should be pretty quick, you would think.
I can imagine that the whole idea of like rendering portals in general probably takes like a little bit of hardware, but at 20 years, almost 20 years old, there were loading screens. Even I played on PC, and it's the same thing. They're quite short. It was a few seconds, but does feel like a relic of a time gone by, where it's you walk in the elevator and bump freeze, and then
Yeah.
now we're back.
yeah.
Just speaking about playing it on PC, if you want to learn how to play games with mouse and keyboard, like I'm trying to do, Portal's a great way to do it. It's a shooter, but you're not like
Mm.
it's not hyper competitive at all. You're not actively having to like there's not very many threats, I guess. You can kind of do things at your own time. And so I really liked playing it on the mouse and keyboard. I did the RTX enhanced edition, so there's ray tracing bouncing off of everything. It was
Oh
cool.
wow, that's
Yeah.
pretty sick. Yeah, damn.
Okay.
Uh,
No wonder you've like
speaking of
written
the
down that the art style is good, because I was like, it's nice, but it's still like grainy as fuck. Like,
Oh yeah. Oh, like I went back and played some of the first time I played it, I played the original version, and this time I played with the RTX enhancements. And then after I finished it, I went just to like compare. Even that there's something that scratches my brain. It's for something almost Wally about the art style that I really like. It's just this like sanitary white look, this
yeah.
not quite brutalist, but there's some
yeah.
brutalism in there that just does something to me.
Yeah, the whole aesthetic of the game is just like it looks so. Yeah, it's like clean to a point, and then there's actually like a lot of grime and horrible stuff like underneath, which is just really cool. But yeah,
It's like it
speaking
has a
of
clean coat of paint on everything, and if you were just to scratch a little bit, you would see that it is just
yeah,
muck.
it would come
It's
away.
funny as well because like a lot of the whole idea of aperture and that aesthetic also reminded me a lot of like the first Assassin's Creed when you are in
Oh
like the
yeah.
Yeah,
Abstergo construction
definitely.
areas. And it's funny, those games came out in the same year. So I'm like, did they know something about each other? Like, it was just interesting that it's like that's kind of what was going on in the zeitgeist at that time.
This game
Yeah,
to me feels so much like I can't believe you just said that the first Assassin's Creed came out the same year as the first Portal. Like I guess that makes sense because the orange box came out on Xbox 360, but this to me feels like, oh no, the PS3 and Xbox 360 were so far away.
I guess because it's so
yeah,
much more simple, whereas
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed is something like that's a whole open world with all these mechanics and things like that. But that was its charm, is that it is self-contained and simple.
yeah, exactly. I think we well both Clan and I have mentioned, but we both got very motion sick during this game. I just wanted to like point out when saying that, like I never get motion sick playing games, and the fact that I did with Portal, like that says a
This
lot.
might
But
be
I
your
mean,
new normal, Tom. I never got
it
motion
might
sick
be.
playing games either. And then in the last 8 months, it's like, what is
Oh
going on?
no,
I like what
that's
is
so sad.
happening?
Yeah, but like it is quite intense. Like especially, I did a thing where like I essentially placed portals down where I'd be falling in and out of them like involuntarily, and that just like sent my brain into overdrive. I try to like uh after that try to like chart my way through and like finish the game in one sitting, but like I had to stop because it was too much. Lauren, did you get motion sick at all? Like, was that a problem for you?
No, I rarely seem to
Damn.
get motion sick with games unless I'm like sometimes in the car, or on a bus or something. Like playing games, I can get like feel a little sick. But yeah, no, I was fine. I even like did a couple of things where I was like, let's just go through portals infinitely and see what happens, and I was fine.
Lauren was putting her body through through the her own personal test chamber. Anything else we want to shout out here? It's a short game, so the conversation doesn't need to be an hour and a half long, but you got to
Yeah,
give it
I
its
mean,
due.
the only thing I'd like to mention is like the final boss fight against GLaDOS a little bit. Like it is a little bit anticlimactic, but I also do kind of respect that it wasn't just like it didn't just like suddenly change like gameplay styles and it's like okay we're just gonna beat GLaDOS up or something. Like I
Mm.
thought it was kind of cool how they still incorporated like okay you gotta place portals down and shoot it with a missile, and then you can like pick up a piece of her and throw it in the chuck it in the incinerator, and those sort of things are really cool. And it also gives you like that line where she's like, despite your violent behavior, the only thing you've managed to break so far is my heart, which I just thought was really really sad. Honestly,
She's just
I felt really
gaslighting you in
bad
the
for her.
final battle.
Oh, she's
Yeah,
so
which is just
funny.
great. But yeah, I would have liked a little bit, just a little bit more in the boss fight because it was a little bit easy.
Okay, Portal 1. We'll rate it as we usually do. And I also want to ask you, as this is the first time both of you have played this game, did Portal live up to the hype in your mind? Lauren Rouse, what are you rating it on the 5-star scale? And did Portal live up to the hype?
Yeah, I think so. I didn't really have too many expectations around it, except that obviously I knew about GLaDOS, so she definitely lived up to expectations, and I knew that there were portals involved. But when I saw them, I was like, "Oh, cool! This is like clearly the foundation for things like Splitgate and other games." But yeah, I think it was just like genuinely like a nice experience, and I think I'm still like kind of floored by how much it did with just like these small simple elements to make such a great experience. So I think that's my real key takeaway from this, is that like, yeah, not every game has to be 50 hours long and have this in-depth narrative story and all these different pieces to be really good. It can just be as simple as this. So I really liked it for that. I think I'm gonna go. Are we doing star ratings now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll give it like 4.5 out of 5.
Excellent. Tom, what
Loses a
about
bit
you?
for the challenge.
Did this live up to the hype for you? And are you as high?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think like this definitely lived at the hype. I mean, like I've heard that Portal's one of the greatest games of all time for years, and I think it like definitely deserves that title. It like exceeded expectations for me, honestly. Like I didn't expect to like it so much. And I loved GLaDOS as a character. I thought she's so fun. Um, yeah, I really want to play Portal 2 now, even though it will make me motion sick again. I'm not going to dock it points for making me motion sick though, so I think I have to give it a 5. Like I think it's just like I know I had like little criticism and stuff, but I think this is like a pretty near perfect or pretty perfect game. Like I don't think there's much I would change about it at all. I think the whole thing comes together super nicely, and I'd recommend it to anyone.
I think I'm going to go with you, Tom. I'm also going to give it 5 out of 5. I don't have nostalgia for this game because I played it for the first time less than 2 years ago, and just revisiting it cemented in my brain how iconic and how just amazing this game is in such a small package. They had this gameplay idea and really worked it through its paces, and even though it literally tore me up inside, I enjoyed every minute of it. So that is our New Game Plus Video Game Book Club Game of the Month discussion for August 2025. Now let's jump over and talk about other games we've been playing with the What We've Been Playing section of the show. Anything new over the last little while? Tom, I know last week you said you had just been playing Portal. Has that changed at all, or has it just been Portal again?
Yeah, not really. Just still like Portal. I mean, I've dabbled a bit, still a bit in Marvel Rivals. I still haven't even played as Blade. He just got added in the like this half of the season. But I'm just going through challenges, trying to keep up with the battle pass and stuff. Still like I'm only like gold rank. For how many hours I've put into like this game, I should be higher than gold rank, honestly. But you know, it's still fun. But I hopefully we'll get to some more games soon. It's been a little bit of a busy time getting ready for Canada and PAX and all this sort of stuff. But yeah, hopefully more games on the horizon soon.
There will be plenty of games played at PAX, so you will come back to the
Yep.
show with a whole lot to talk about. I want to quickly shout out a new game that came out this month. It is on PlayStation Plus if you have a PS5. Giant Sparrow's new game came out, Sword of the Sea. This is a team of former That Game Company devs who made games like Journey and Flower. That Giant Sparrow has done Abzu, was one of their games from a few years ago. And this is what if Journey involved a surfboard slash snowboard slash skateboard. It kind of rocks. The music is by Austin Wintory again, who did the Journey soundtrack. The music is incredible. The story is very Journey-like, at least so far. It's very implied. It's just kind of like you're trying to get to the top of a mountain, but this time you have a surfboard. And I'm enjoying it so far. I'm like 3 or 4 hours in. I think I'm coming up towards the end of it, but just there's something at, I guess, in the water at That Game Company from a few years ago, and then moving into Giant Sparrow, where they know how to do locomotion in a game unlike anyone else. Just the moving around this world feels so good, and you're on sand, you're on snow, you're on water, and it just looks amazing. And there's all these fish flying around you, and I'm very much enjoying it. It is absolutely free if you have PlayStation Plus, so give it a try. It's called Sword of the Sea, and it's out right now, and I'm loving it.
Yeah, I remember seeing this and it just looks like so much fun. The fact that you're just surfing on sand dunes looks awesome. I think I had this on my Fantasy Critic team, and I'm glad I did. It seems like it seems like it's a good game, so I think I'll definitely check this out.
They don't show you it. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Lauren.
I was just going to say I also had this on my list because it seemed to tick all those boxes. I remember us seeing at one of the showcases being like, ooh,
Yeah.
Journey with skateboards.
Yeah, it is. a whole lot of fun. And as I said, very like vibes game. It doesn't feel very gamey, but then you come into a room and it's like, hey, guess what? All the tricks you've been doing, you've been collecting points, and now you have 5 minutes to basically do a Tony Hawk run in this little like skate park that we've built for you. And it's like, whoa, I didn't expect this to be in here. So like that's a lot of fun. Lauren, how's the bookshop journey going for you? Are you still you still on the caravan selling novels and novellas?
Yes, still playing the bookshop. That's not going away anytime soon. I did want to talk about something else though, because I came to a realization this week, which was that I'm going to have to put a game down, which was South of Midnight. I like wanted to play it before I, give up on Xbox Game Pass. And I was like, I can make it through. I'm in chapter like 11 of 14. I was like, there's so not much further to go. But I was playing it last night and I was just like, I'm just like not enjoying it. So I really don't think, in this life, there's too many other games that you could be trying and enjoying to like continue playing on that you're not enjoying. And it's a shame because it's like, I think I just really like, I'm trying to complete more things that I start. And I think I just really wanted to love this game. But I think it just came a point where it's like, I'm doing the same combat moves in the same gameplay loop and encounters. I had to like knock the difficulty down because it was getting too frustrating. And I was just like, I don't think I'm the problem. I think the game might be the problem. And I never want to say that because I want the game to be a flawless experience and I'm usually the problem. But I think it was a case of like they haven't like ramped up the ability factor or the progression or even the gameplay styles enough to like keep me hanging for this amount of time. So that's a shame. And I think I'm just like have to make peace with like, I'm not going to finish that game, but I played enough of it to get a good idea.
I think that's a good realization as a gamer to have, and everybody eventually has it. It's that I play games for fun. If I'm not having fun, I don't need to keep doing this. And so, good for you. Sorry, South of Midnight. You got enough of Lauren's time. you don't need any more. That's what we've been playing. Tom, do we have a comment corner for this week? I do have a question for the audience. If we don't,
yeah, we don't have one this week, but.
We're recording early. We're recording early. It's fine. That's totally okay. This week's comment corner question of the week is, what was your favorite announcement of the show from Gamescom? I'm suspecting there's going to be a lot of Batman talk, but prove me wrong. Maybe it was that weird scrolling RPG game. That looked really cool. But
oh yeah.
Let us know over on YouTube or podcast services around the globe. And as always, you can follow the show at Controller Club Pod on Instagram and Blue Sky. Keep up with us on our PAX journeys. We are at controller_club on Twitter as well, and at controller.club on TikTok. Also, if you're listening to the podcast, we do a video version each and every week. It's up on our YouTube channel right now. So head on over there, subscribe, ring the bell, thumbs up, comment. It really helps out. And please review us wherever you're listening right now. 5 stars, 5 stars. Tom, where can people keep up with you? You have a bit of a journey coming up, so I'm sure you'll be updating, whether it's on Instagram stories or what have you. Where can people look for all that over the next couple of, I guess, weeks?
Yeah, so you can find me at Tom Duart, Instagram, Blue Sky, Twitter. If you want to follow my journey across the waters, you can find all that stuff there. Like I mentioned last episode, there's a new video on the YouTube channel coming out of us ranking the best video game items. Maybe the portal gun is one of those items on that list. You'll see how far it gets along in that ranking. But if you want to check that out, it should be out a bit after the time of this podcast episode coming out. So look out for that. It's a lot of fun.
Great. And Lauren, what have you got in the hopper, and where can people find it?
Yes, similar to Tom, I'll just be posting about our adventures at PAX probably over the next few weeks. But if you want to follow those, you can find me at lrouse19, Rouse spelt as in house, on Blue Sky, Twitter, TikTok. And it's not anything to promote, but I did just want to say this is my 1-year anniversary in Canada this week. So I'm celebrating that right now.
Woo!
Thank you.
Awesome. It's been so much fun having you so much closer. Just time zone wise has been a blast being able to talk to you when you're not bleary eyed and fresh out
1-year anniversary of not being tired on the podcast.
We love it. We love it. You can keep up with me everywhere. I'm at the Kleinfeld, TheKleinFelt. That's going to wrap up this episode of Controller Club. As always, thank you so much for listening. Now, let's get gaming.